I guess in Afrikaans, you say somebody's hardkoppig, you're hard-headed. I am just too hard-headed to give up, and I'm just too hard-headed to let this sort of nonsense get to me. So we just, and maybe it's a hardkoppigheid that comes out of I suppose stupidity or ignorance, but it is what it is. So we just carry on, and that's the whole thing,
Hello, welcome to Dan's Got Change with Bright Rock, and welcome to an amateur chef and then one who does things properly. Now, if you follow me on social media at all, if you've watched some of my misadventures on either Dan Really Likes Wine or the Dan Nicholl Show, I love cooking, I love food, I love getting into the kitchen, and I particularly love eating out because South Africa is home to some of the greatest chefs on the planet. And one of them just happens to be with me today. He's a good mate of mine, Bertus Basson. Welcome, how are you?
Hey, Dan, how's it going, man? Can't complain. Thank you.
There are many things I love about you, your food, your knowledge and understanding of wine, but probably chief amongst them is the fact that you're one of the most positive people I think I've ever met. And despite the fact that the last year and a half has wreaked havoc on the world and the restaurant industry in particular, somehow that Bertus Basson smile still seems to be pretty firmly in place. What's the secret to staying so upbeat?
Dan, I think we've tried to really stay positive during this time. I think it's been sort of a conscious decision that while our industry has been very much decimated by COVID-19 and a lot of our colleagues have lost restaurants and stuff, we've been very fortunate. We've managed to keep everything open. So we firstly think we're luckier than most. Like we've managed to keep our businesses going, and secondly, I am just too hard-headed to give up. And I think it's just the way it is. It's how South Africans actually are. Is we are mostly just dust ourselves off and carry on, and that's what we've done. So yeah, man, that's it. Very simple. I'm just stupid and hardkoppig.
Well, it's obviously a very successful combination, so I should look to emulate it going forward. I'd also love to emulate your entrepreneurial spirit because you're very quick on your feet. The word of 2020 was probably pivot, and it was something you seem to do not just well, but also regularly. Give me a sense of how your restaurant empire, how your different businesses were forced to change, how they did adapt in very unusual times.
Sure. So Dan, the first week of lockdown was very uncertain for us, and my wife Madeleine is also my business partner. And in that first week, we sat we built a home office to work from home, and we sat in the home office and we didn't leave the house, and we just rewrote all of our business plans. We came up with plans and ideas, and we've managed to implement those plans in our businesses. So some of the plans we discussed around the table 18 months ago, we actually implemented, and they're still implemented. And then some of the other things that we've done, we made menus a bit shorter. We focused on our staffing, made sure that we're a little bit leaner in certain places where we've got a bit flabby, as most businesses did before COVID. And then one of the things that we did is we realized that our responsibility is also towards our teams, and as something simple as just paying salaries, which is our responsibility. So Spek and Boone, for example, which is my little tapas bar in Dorp Street. Whenever we have restrictions on lockdowns or booze restrictions, we turn it into a fried chicken joint, and it doesn't make money. It doesn't make us profit. However, it keeps the lights on. I pay rent from it, and I can pay my team from it. Our teams, luckily, are very engaging, and we've got some amazing young people who said, "Look, we'll go on this journey with you." and maybe they're as stupid and as hardkoppig as I am, to be honest with you. I just don't know. But they've engaged with us really well, and they've been cool. And in that way, it's also brought me a lot closer in the last 18 months to some of our key staff members. So people that previously were colleagues, just work colleagues really, has really become very close to us. And it's been an amazing journey to get to know some of these people that we spend our days with so much better.
And I have no doubt that they are deeply grateful for the belief you had in them, the support you gave them, the fact that so many of them were able to just keep a job, keep earning a living because of your approach. But it goes far beyond just the guys you work with, because you're pretty much the unofficial mayor of Jamestown, having fed half the place. Give me a sense of how that project worked and how I suspect you didn't just keep so many people happy by feeding them, but you found a very fulfilling space yourself.
Sure. So just as a background for people who don't know Stellenbosch or Jamestown. So Jamestown is a little community outside of Stellenbosch. Traditionally, it's a little coloured village really, and it started as a farming community, and then it settled into residential community. And myself and Marley bought a house there Marley's in the corner over here, about 8 years ago. And we've just sort of found a home there. So we feel very at home in Jamestown. Over time, it's sort of the village is changing, but what we like about the village is that we're not the richest people in Jamestown, but we're not the poorest people in Jamestown. And I feel like my kids wake up every morning with a sense of almost what real South Africa is like. So to give you an idea, we live in a house and there's a house next to us, but then the house next to that house, 2 houses from us, is a sink house. And it's not a shack. It's a sink house that was probably built in the 1950s or 1960s. A family lives there. And in the winter, they boil their water with an old donkey. So it smells like fire in the morning and stuff. And that's in a residential area in Stellenbosch. Wherever we can in Jamestown get involved with any charitable projects, especially involving food, we do. So with our restaurants, with Acre and Overture, we run a little internal program where for every guest that dines at our restaurants, we donate 10 Rand to what we call our own soup fund. That Maria administers for us. And then when there's a need in the community, so if somebody says, we're going on a church camp, we need food, we can say, sure, but we've got funds available. We'll donate 3,000 or 4,000 Rand and please go buy food for the camp or whatever the case might be. So it's just a matter of that we understand the need in our community and we also value our community.
It sounds like a wonderful place for your kids to grow up. And knowing you as I do, I can see just how the Bassons have fitted into this space so well. It's not the only space you've spent time in, though. I have picked up a bit, both from our conversation and from following social media. There's been a bit of exploring of South Africa as well over the last while.
It has. We've been traveling a bit, and I think if we've learned anything from COVID-19 is again, as South Africans, we live in an amazing place. I think I frequently mention it to you when we talk, but I'm a big Land Rover fan and a big Defender fan, and our holiday home for the next year has become our Land Rover Defender. So we've taken a trip down to the Clan Karoo. We spent some time in the Tankwa recently and to Sutherland. We spent some time at Manus and Onrus. We were up to the bush recently to the Klasiri. And it's incredible when and it's not that we're forced. We just don't want to travel at the moment. I think if we think of holidays at the moment, we think local, but it's also wonderful because we've just been to amazing places, and especially the Karoo. I mean, the Karoo is somewhere where we really we find silence and it's beautiful and it's simple. And I always think the Karoo farmers must be as hardkoppig as I am, because if you really want to farm anywhere in the world, why do you choose the Karoo? but people live there and it's a very honest sort of space. Yeah, we really enjoy it.
And it's an important change of scenery to recharge and amongst running that empire of yours. Final question for you, because there always seems to be something new that Bertus and Marley are doing. And a couple of times I've called you, it's been, sorry, Dan, can't talk now. I'm just on set, because Bertus, the TV star, has been reinvented for some more adventures.
Yeah, sure. So then we did a show last year for CakeNet called Inisop, which where we helped restaurants after COVID that struggled, and it was really valuable. I got to meet some amazing people, and it was really helping people to change their businesses and their business models and stuff. And the show had some amazing results, and I keep track of some of the people that took part in the show with us, and most of them across the board has been much more successful. And it was just sharing really basic knowledge and all the mistakes that I've made, because being hardkoppig, I also make mistakes. So I've made lots of mistakes in my career, and I was able to share those lessons with other people, and I love that. And we hopefully working on a second season. We'll see how things go. And then we've just opened up a new little restaurant. So I've been involved with a wine farm in Stellenbosch called Vergenoegd for a long time. The first step for us at Vergenoegd was to sort of launch a little breakfast lunch space on the property. It's called Gewels. It's a beautiful little restaurant. And one of my young chefs, Rickert Brink, became my business partner in that venture. And it's really exciting. So just really cool breakfast. And we do sort of small place to share, all inspired by South Africa for lunch. And then the next step on the property is that we will open up another restaurant on the farm later on this year, which is it's a beautiful space, and I can't wait to show it to you. It's historically significant. It's just incredible. So again, we are growing the empire, but it's exciting times, and we're excited about the prospects.
If there's any constant to the life of Bertus Basson, it's that it's all change all the time and always for very good reasons. I think you've been a shining light in navigating the pitfalls of the culinary world over the last 18 months, Bertus, but they're lessons well beyond just the food industry to learn from you and Marilee. Thank you for it. Thank you for very many great meals. I'd be a lot slimmer and trimmer if it wasn't for all of your restaurants, but I'm very glad that I've had those meals. I look forward to many more, and I look forward to another run with you and our mutual friend Mike Ratcliffe through the hills of Stellenbosch at dawn in the next little while.
I must be honest with you, I did become like a tiny bit plump this last winter, so I'm going to be a little bit slower, but we'll see how it goes.
Bertus Basson, chef extraordinaire, television superstar, and just a wonderful philanthropist, and somebody who always puts a smile on my face, and I suspect yours as well. This is Dan's Got Change this week with the great Bertus Basson. Look out for his new TV show, and if you haven't been to his restaurants, get there now. I promise you won't be disappointed.